What's going on, everybody? It is your girl Dana Danes, and welcome to my channel, the after show nobody asked for. This is a video review of Couples Retreat from VH1, Season 1, Episode 3, Second First Dates, okay, by yours truly. And please keep in mind that my thoughts and views are for entertainment purposes only, so please don't take me too seriously. But with that being said, let's get into this episode. Now, I'm a bit late on reviewing this episode. I had some trouble last week with my phone, which is where I do all my recording on. That being said, this review is coming late, okay? So expect back-to-back reviews this week. So the episode begins with a montage of the couples reading questions from those cute little cue cards from the previous episode. Okay, we get flashes of the couples answering what they love about their relationship. And we get a cute moment with them and their, fond little memories. Ray J and Princess said that, she loves how they can spend the day together and never get tired of each other. It's a sweet gesture, and I don't get mad at me, okay? Don't get mad. But that's not exactly what we've been seeing, has it? And we haven't been seeing that so far. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them a little bit of a break per se, because, I'm not ignorant. I know that couples go through things, but it was just the first thing that popped to my head when they said that. Okay, like, really? I don't see that. I was just thinking it. I thought she would say something different. It's all good, right? Let me stop being shady and move the hell on. Apparently, it's the total opposite of what people think and what we've been shown so far. Who am I to deny this, right? Who am I? So let's continue. We get a flashback of Kirk. And I'm like, to myself, of course, because I'm watching it by myself. I'm just thinking he's about to say something dumb. Like, I just know it. And Rashida says she just loves how she can wrap up in his arms. And he's like daddy and husband. And this fool says, "Did you call me daddy?" With that big ass old smirk on his freaking face. And I'm sorry, but I don't like him, okay? I just can't. And then they move on from them, and I breathe a sigh of relief. And, they pan to Mendices and Yandy, and she asks, why did you choose me to be your wife? And my ass leaned in like I was really intrigued. Like, honestly, I'm always curious to hear this answer from couples. So it's not that it was Mendices and Yandy. I just, when I hear that, my ears always perk up because I'm always interested in what the men will say, right? So they go back to Kirk and Rashida, and my eyes roll because, he's looking nervous, all right? I just know it's about to be some dumbass hell answer, okay? He looks around and he says, you want the honest answer? I'm like, yeah, we do. Why wouldn't we want the honest answer? And they didn't even show his answer at first. Rashida's sitting there talking about because I didn't want you, okay? Because I didn't want you. At least that's what I thought she said. Anyway, that accent comes out kind of thick and whoosh goes right over my head sometimes. This is me trying to decipher it, but I'm Canadian, and that southern accent came out quick and it threw me off. I'm not going to lie, but that's what I heard. That's what I assume. And then they move to Radha and Michael, and they're talking about how they didn't have much. That's it. Like we both grew up without anything really, poverty and all this stuff, which okay, but I don't get how that's an answer, but all right, they're reflecting. Mendici says that Yandy brings order to his life and structure. And we see that Delicious tells her husband that she did not choose him, okay? With the utmost confidence. And I'm here for it, okay? And he agrees. And as always, they look cute as ever, right? You guys know that right now they're my favorite. They're my favorite on the show. Then, after a beautiful reintroduction to our couples and their beautiful dynamic, they turn us over to Princess, right? And her cam. And she's crying and upset and over it. She just wants answers, and the drama ensues, right? This was left field because we just saw them being all lovey-dovey talking about, they love to spend time together, but I digress, right? Ray J's on his video cam and he's talking about, I'm not even thinking about you. It wasn't about you. And I'm like, yes, Ray J, we know this because you could never possibly show enough maturity to think outside of your own feelings, like not even your wife. And I'm back to being a hater of Ray J. You know what I'm saying? He never really won me over, but that flashback was kind of cute. And, I don't know. I guess I almost forgot. Almost. So then we move to Mr. Frost again. He's on his cam and he's talking about how sometimes you realize things ain't perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he's too grown not to know that, okay? Way too grown. Acting like it's some new revelation, right? Now, Michael Blackson is on his cam and I giggled because he is annoyed, okay? Talking about women like to talk too much and whatever. He's tired of this, okay? And it shows. It shows. He is done. He is tired. He is not down with all this talking. Now, when production brought us back to Ray J, I had to laugh. And maybe I shouldn't have, okay? Maybe I shouldn't have. But let me know in the comments below if y'all thought this was funny. Because I definitely did, okay? Now, when they shifted us back to Ray J and he's going on about being called childish, this man really said, I may look like a child. Don't mean that I am a child. And I'm just like, what in the Napoleon Hill syndrome is going on here? No one said you looked like a child, but simply that your behavior was childish. I'm just like, this boy is projecting too much right now, right? Like, Ray. Anyway, we see Princess again and she looks sad, but honestly, her skin is flawless, okay? She is such a beautiful woman. Anyway, she's turned off, not knowing. And so here we are. We are with you, Princess. We're tired of not knowing either. We're tired. You guys came to the show. It's episode 3. And honestly, I don't know why you're here. At least not at this point. So the next day is here. And Mendices is sitting on the couch and Yandy walks in. You can sense the tension between them. And I get it because this man just confessed, okay, to not knowing if he would have stuck by her, okay, while she was in prison if it was on the other side. And now that has got to hurt. She takes a seat and they begin to sort through kind of what happened in the Ring of Fire, right? Simply put, Mendices felt like he was forgotten about. And Yandy felt lonely as hell, which honestly, I feel like this is kind of like, I feel like to be expected in this situation, right? When you have a relationship with someone who's in prison, I feel like that's definitely something that could be hard to balance. I can see both sides, and it seems like, the issue with them at this point is that neither of them are really acknowledging each other's pain. Right? It's very much them holding on to how they felt instead of hearing and having empathy for each other's experience. You know what I mean? During that time. But what do I know? I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor, nothing. So this is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I feel like, that's something that would be expected. Again, it's different to expect something and to live through it. But, I think what they're going through as far as transitioning is normal, right? So one of the things that stood out to me was the effort Yandy wanted to see from Mendices and how he really wants to fix the relationship and, bond with his kids, but doesn't have the same energy to bond with Yandy. That was super interesting. I could just really empathize with her on that. I felt that. I definitely feel Yandy on needing to have that from him because she did handle a lot on her own. She deserves to be loved and appreciated, right? She deserves to be wined and dined. She deserves to have that energy that he has for, reconnecting with the children that he does with his wife. And I know technically they're not married because she never filed the papers, blah, 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 blah. But they went and took a step to commitment. They went and changed their names legally. They went and put, I think she's like his power of attorney or something like that. They did all the necessary steps. They just don't have a marriage license. So I feel like whatever, that's his wife, right? Things got defensive and they're really not, hearing each other. So we move on to a one-on-one with the beautiful Miss AJ and Rada. They're working out, and AJ really wants Rada to get to the bottom of things with Michael, because what does she truly want from him in this relationship? Like, I think we're all wondering watching this, like, what do you want? It's becoming clear with them that at this point, Rada no longer wants Michael to have so many side bitches, as they keep calling them, right? Like, these women have names, no? And it's just funny to me because the way it sounds, they're around them all the time. They're there all the time. But anyways, she wants more boundaries, and AJ breaks it down, right? She asked her some real questions, okay? She really pointed out that, Michael is giving all he has. And Rada, and like many of us do out here, we think if we stick around, we can change them, right? Essentially falling in love with the potential instead of accepting these men for who and what they presented themselves to be. I get it. I feel it. Been there, done that. I get it. I really enjoyed this conversation, and AJ even had me reflecting on my own life, okay? So we get to see the ladies enjoying themselves poolside, right? And AJ is there too. And it's cute. The ladies look cute. They're enjoying each other's company and bonding together. Delicious is booty popping, and they're drinking. And it, really gives that sisterhood vibe, right? The men are also doing their own thing indoors, and all of the men except Ray J, of course, are we surprised? Are there. Anyway, they're there having their own little drinks and their own bonding. They, of course, bring this up, and all agree it's probably for the best with all of his temper tantruming, right? They're referring to Ray J not being there, and, where he's at and needing to calm down, and him having a big ego. Now, they didn't say that they felt he was having a temper tantrum, but in my spirit, I know that's what they meant. Michael is joking around talking about he didn't know he had a heart till yesterday. As usual, always playing the fool. That part kind of made me laugh. So, I just want to touch on it because that comment was funny. He didn't even know, with all the heart work they're doing, all the tapping into their feelings, it was funny. So they take us back over to the ladies, drinks in hand, and Rashida asks Delicious about a Gucci store incident. Okay. Now, apparently, Delicious had a little private shopping date and brought old boy to the back and broke him off a little something, okay? And here I go again, leaning my ass in like I'm really there. Like, tell me more, sis. Spill all the tea, sis. Okay? Now, Delicious is a beautiful woman, and she's, living up to that fantasy of the sexy vixen that she portrays to be online. And I'm like, okay. But I often wonder if she feels like she needs to do this for validation, right? Sex is important, but it's almost like she places her worth there a little bit, or maybe a lot. You guys tell me in the comments below. I don't know this lady, right? But did anyone else get that vibe? I don't know. Let me know. Now, I'm not saying she has, no right to feeling that way, because according to her, he was very much giving it to her all the time, right? So for her, she was accustomed to this need being fed, and now he has her, and it's like he pretty much stopped doing all the things that made her feel like she loved him. Made her fall in love with him, right? And I don't know, maybe he's in too deep. Maybe he never really thought he could, really keep up. And I don't know. I can see her point of view, right? At the end of the day, she likes what she likes, and I get it, right? I get it. She likes spontaneity. She likes a lot of sex. I feel like, again, it's a part of the way that makes her feel valid in the relationship, makes her feel wanted, right? And I love what AJ said about the difference in mentalities of men and women, and the importance of that consideration and insights that she gave when dealing with our men, right? I love AJ. I just love her. I really do. So Mendices walks in, and he has a +1, okay? He strolls in with Dr. K, and he's basically there to bring, some masculine energy and guidance to the men, right? Which I thought was a great idea. I think men should be, the ones who hold each other accountable. So Michael got to. Michael goes into to say. So Michael goes in saying that the doctor looks like, every retired R&B star from the 90s, and production ain't shit because that they showed them all, right? And honestly, it's true, he does kind of resemble each of the ones that he showed, like he did, right? Anyways, Dr. K starts off by asking what these men believe their women, are into. Mendici starts breaking down how Yandy, like many of us ladies, love the romance. Pulling out chairs, bringing the flowers, the gentlemanly stuff that we like, the charm. And I agree, I myself love that shit. And he explains that he's really not that guy. How he thought that pretty much being a provider and a protector was enough. Why do I think a lot of men think this way? Like they think that that's all that we need, but it's not. We like to be loved on, men. If you're listening, we like to be loved on. We like to be romanced, okay? And not just in dating. We want it to, ripple effect through our marriage, through our companionship. Kirk's sitting there, says he's reflecting on his wife's words about doing less business. They've been married 20 years, and there he go, talking about the business and the money and the savings. He really can't step outside of work for like 3 seconds, y'all. I'm feeling for Rashida at this point. He really can't stop thinking about business, okay? He really can't. Dr. K took a sip of that drink and his face was as tired and as bored with it all, and I feel like I was right there with him, I feel like I look like that right now. He then asks him, okay, there's work, but what about quality time? Ding, ding, ding. We've been saying that this whole time, Dr. K. You're not alone. He said we're always together. And it really just, it's deja vu, guys, right? Of the previous nights. Like, he's not getting it. He's not. I guess he thought because maybe Dr. K was a man, he might be able to get away with his excuses. But sorry, nope. He shut that shit down, okay? And then asks, very interesting question. He asked a very interesting question. He said, so each of you, are you in love? Or do you just simply love her? Wow. Cue me leaning in again, right? It was really funny watching all of their blank stares before they actually got, to answering. Now, Kirk said he loves her and that he's in love with her. He just feels like he can only give so much. Raymond, which is Delicious's husband, you guys, I got his name. His name is Raymond. 1 star for me. And, anyway, he starts talking about her and how she's an alpha female, right? How she gets loud and how being the man, he kind of basically feels a little bit, emasculated by her in a sort of senses, with, for a lack of better words. And Dr. K, tells him to just, maybe put more energy forward into like taking charge, and how if he, really does this, that she would, be inspired to follow him, which is exactly what she truly wants anyways. So I think this is great advice. I do. So now we're really starting to see the real power struggle between Raymond and Delicious. He's trying to find the balance of her and what she wants and needs from him. Because he says sometimes when he does step up, it's a problem. And I can see how that would be diminishing for him, and how maybe, essentially would basically maybe turn him off, Michael brings up the upbringing, right? How he doesn't believe anyone in the group grew up in pretty much a two-parent home. he brought to light that none of them really had the chance to really see how a two-parent home operates, what it looks like to be in that kind of relationship, to learn from, to, experience so that they could themselves model that behavior. I mean, who knew Michael was so self-aware? I mean, I kind of knew because he's very honest and open about what he wants and what he desires for his life as far as a relationship. But I didn't really expect so much self-reflection from him, right? The one thing I can say I appreciate about Michael is that he's very true to himself. I like that a lot. Kirk was actually the only one who felt like he did have any kind of father time, but admitted that he did leave after a time. So his father did leave him after a time. He wasn't there his whole life to see, that interaction. We never heard what age he left, but I'm surprised no one, brought it up, how a father leaving can be traumatic too. Even if you got 5 years, 10 years, the separation of a household can really affect how, you perceive relationships and your belief in relationships and how they work and things like that. Now, Michael's mom, she was straight up a G, okay? And I don't know if this makes her a G, but it's pretty gangster to me that he said that she just took them children, the siblings and everything from their father, and that was the end for him. He never knew his dad. His mom changed their names. And sadly, his father passed away. And although Michael says he felt nothing about it, I definitely thought that that was really sad. I thought it was really sad that he never had the opportunity to know his dad because of things that his father did to his mother. Now, I'm not sure. It could have been a case of abuse, right? Very high abuse. I don't know. But I do think that it's very sad when children don't get to experience their fathers or any parent, right, for themselves. Because I do think that children should be the ones to decide whether they want their father in their life, depending on the circumstances, right? Depending on the circumstances. But for the most part, I do think that. But, we don't know too much about what happened. And this isn't about Michael and his parents or what happened between them. So I don't think we're ever going to get the real breakdown to that. But it was just something that I thought was super sad. And I think even though he didn't cry or anything, I just feel like it holds emotional trauma in a sense, right? Never knowing your father. But that's just me. But Michael admits that this is a root cause for him and his love language. How can he love when he's never been shown how to love, right? All of this is valid. And Dr. K, he hits them with another great question, which is, well, what are you willing to do to keep it together? Like, what are you doing to keep this relationship? Like, what are you willing to do? Now, this man says he's never been faithful in his life. And, the boys start giving their advice, which was funny because, Michael called them all the way out, and basically told them that that's not going to happen. He's not giving up the side B's, right? I mean, if I shall not be moved was a person, okay. He is not letting go of no side B's. He's there. He's like, they're here to stay. Okay. They ain't going nowhere. Dr. K advises them to go back to their basics with their ladies, right? To let them know that they're loved and task them to create a date night for their, spouses, which was really cute. Throw back to the memory of their first dates, which I think was sweet and romantic. Okay. A beautiful idea. And the men were down too, so that was nice, except Michael talking about, how can he recreate it without side bitches, but... Anyways, we're not even going to go there. I just had to shake my head at that for real. Cue the next scene. They take us back to the poolside with the ladies, and Yandy says she wants to learn some house party moves. And if you don't know, AJ was in that movie. Go ahead and look back. She still looks the same, okay? She obliges, and they begin working their moves. Super, super cute. I loved it. I like the dynamic between the ladies. I like that there's no drama. I'm loving that part. So afterwards, they show AJ sitting with Princess. And I forgot she wasn't with the girls either, okay? I only noticed now, wow. I'm just now realizing that she wasn't there with them. Anyway, AJ is with her, and they're getting, down to the bottom of what Princess wants. Because honestly, she doesn't believe either of them want a divorce. So Princess begins to cry and admits that she wants her marriage and how she's tired of fighting, right? She's tired of fighting that feeling. She's been fighting for a while now. She begins to break down, and in the midst of it all, in walks Ray J. And he seems surprised to see them, honestly. So far he's been, he's open, but remember guys, he's not the one. When he said that, I was like, shut the hell up. Cue me rolling my eyes for, I don't know how many times now, but usually when he's on the screen, my eyes roll to the back of my head. So there they sit, and AJ addresses, their one-on-one because, clearly the group thing isn't working for Ray J. He surprisingly apologizes to Princess, which she seems very happy about. And I mean, I hope, he's sincere, but what is this now? Like apology number 3, 4? I don't know. So they begin. AJ starts and says, I don't think the communication can be fixed overnight. But Ray J interjects, okay? And he says he feels that it could be. Apparently, he has the answer, although his actions are not a reflection of that, okay? At this point, not at all. But AJ turns and asks him a really good question, addressing how he feels about the tone Princess comes to him with. And, since it's because about her flaws and not his, he agrees. I don't think she said anything wrong, personally, even when watching the flashbacks. Like, why come here and not do the work and be transparent? And I feel like she was just being transparent. She was just trying to participate. She was being honest about how she felt. And I don't think he should hold that against her, but this is Ray J, right? So, anyways, at the end of the day, Ray J feels attacked and wants to protect his image, and that's what's important to him. He doesn't want her to call him out publicly at all, even if it's her truth. So why did you come, Ray J? Why are you here? But okay. Princess then shares her, needs of needing more consistency from him. She wants him coming home more at night, wanting to sleep in the same bed, waking up in the same bed, having breakfast together like normal people, like a normal family. Now, we've actually heard this before from Princess. If you've watched Love and Hip Hop, it was just so reminiscent of the storylines of yesteryear. And I don't know, I'm kind of over them. I kind of think they're cute, but I kind of think maybe they're playing us, like same storyline again. He's never been home. Not even before the babies, my love. Not even before the babies. You would find him with strippers at his spare apartment and stuff. Like, I don't know. Again, I feel like this is a situation where you pick someone for their potential and not for who they're showing you they are. They're showing themselves to be this person, but you feel like they could be more and you want them to be more. So you continue the relationship, hoping that because that's what you want, that is what you'll see. Not a good move. So at this point, he says that he wants his family. And Princess says this like, this is the first time, that she's heard this. She's saying, she's like, he's never said that before. She also admits that neither of them wanted to admit it to themselves and much less each other. And they're both, kind of shocked in this moment. They agree to do the work. And I mean, I guess we'll see, right? AJ is right when she said that they need to really just figure out what they are going to do, what they want. And then, they bring us back to the cue card questions. Yandy is asking Mendices, what do you think about the first time we met? And what do you remember? He said it was how nice she was, which was really cute. And Yandy says it was when he gave her, the head nod when she said hello. Like, what? That's what? Anyways, Rashida asked Kirk to describe the moment he realized she was in love with him. And he said it was when they broke up after she bust his head open, right? Like she bust him over the head and he was bleeding. And he kicked her out, I guess, and then he began to miss her. But, he kind of also started thinking, man, I must really love her because she came up in here and bust my head open. And, I wanted to come back. You're toxic. I'm going under. Like, I just heard the Britney Spears song. You know what I mean? Just toxicity. That's all that was. So Delicious asked her husband the same, and he said Cancun. Delicious shut that down so quick, y'all. She's like, no, it was not. She said, I could tell you because you're already my husband. And I thought that was funny. I thought it was cute. As always, I think they're super cute, as we know, right? If you've been listening by now, you know that I think they're adorable. So now the dates begin, and we get to see these date nights, right? The men are getting ready to show these ladies some love, and I'm here for it, right? Delicious is ready, okay? And Yandy is pleasantly surprised and ready for their night. Now, I thought Mendici said he wasn't a romantic, but this setting of their first date seems pretty romantic to me, okay? Romantic as AF, okay? He's got the lights all up, the tent, the pillows, picnic style, setting going on. He's got the liquor, and it's super romantic and beautiful. He almost had me feeling some type of way because this is a great first date. I don't know if I've had a first date such as this. Maybe something close, but I don't know. I thought that this was a super, super romantic date. And if this is reminiscent of their first date, he's straight up lying that he does not know how to be romantic. That was a lie. Okay, we see Rashida and Kirk. They're having drinks by the bar, reminiscing. And Delicious and Raymond are having a cute dinner. They're cute. They're having fun. Delicious is on 10 for the D. And the others are talking about, getting to know each other all over again. And the reconnection is real. I mean, we really get to see what Raymond is talking about here with Delicious. She really won't let him take the reins, right? She stays on 10 and Raymond is just warming up. And I can see how, a man with his demeanor could feel intimidated and maybe even a bit emasculated. But, just let him do him, girl. Let him, just take a seat back. You want to take the back seat. You want to be in the passenger side. You got to let go of the wheel, honey. You got to let go of the wheel. Kirk and Rashida are, talking again, just talking by the bar. I guess maybe they went to a club for their first date or something. Yandy and Mendices are cuddling up. And Delicious is on her phone. I'm telling you, you're getting a real picture of how she makes it, kind of hard for him to lead in this relationship. But Delicious was like, tonight, I need you. And he said, you can have me for forever. And I'm like, yes. And so is he. But then, he starts talking about having wine back in the room, snuggling up in the bed. And I'm like, ooh. And then he said, put on a movie? Like, sir, even I know that that's not what she's looking for, okay? That is not what she's looking for at this time, not this night. She's giving you all the cues. And there you go, talking about a movie? No, okay? Just no. Her face was like, I know this man didn't just say movie, okay? So here we go. They turn over to Michael and his date night with Radha. And it's a nice setup. The food looks good. I love the fire pit. He had champagne. He did that. And you could tell he tried. And he says, he doesn't want to lose her. So, we'll see. He then sits her down and, announces, let's feast to no bitches. And she got excited, y'all. She was like, really? And then he was like, for tonight. He slipped that in. He added that in right there. For tonight. And womp, womp, womp. Her face it just went down. It just lowered. You could see the disappointment arise in her. So the mood dampens just tonight, Radha says. She's like, nah, she's not happy. She came to put her foot down. So here we go. So she asks him, so what's your point? And he's like, what do you mean? We're alone. We're here by ourselves. And she's like, okay, but don't you want this more often? But the look on his face, I'm gathering that's a no, sweetie. And he continues to, sing the same song. The side B's mean nothing to me. And, Rada reveals that Michael is a nice guy and that he can't say no. He doesn't want to seem mean, and I just really think he's a sex addict, okay? He not only can't say no, he doesn't want to say no. And she's being a bit delusional, okay? Especially if he's letting them disrespect you, honey, as she claimed. And Michael, admits this and says he'll change it, but I don't know. However, Rada is putting her foot down, okay? And she's over it. Now, Michael says he knows they can be like that. And he wants to check them. He does. But not get rid of them, okay? He wants to check them, not get rid of them. He wants his side Bs, and he needs them now. I want my side bitches, and I need them now. I don't know if you guys have seen that commercial, but that's what I thought of. Okay, so good luck, Rada. He doesn't seem down to really change a goddamn thing. He's not letting up on the terms of his deal. And, this is more about getting back in alignment with the original agreement than it is about changing his aspect on, this whole thing. And I can't blame him. They had a deal, and even though she's grown and she wants more, he's not really into it. He doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying? She may not like it, but I definitely get it. Anyways, everyone is winding down now from their dates and getting all close and lovey-dovey. The Harrises and the Frost seem to be in a great place. Delicious is ready, okay, for the night, okay? A night to remember. She says she's ready for alone time, grown time, okay? She said she's ready to make a baby, okay? Now here comes Raymond, who basically explains that when they got to the room, they called the kids and then, he dozed off. And I'm like, no, Raymond, no, you didn't do that. Okay. No, it didn't happen, but it did. And the episode cuts. Whew. And I'm just left like, Raymond, you had one job. I'm wondering how she's going to react. She's going to be super mad. We know this, right? Oh, man. Next week, we just got to get ready to find out. But what do y'all think? What did you think of this episode? What did you rate it? Let me know in the comments below. I want to thank everyone for listening. And I want to remind you guys to please like, share, comment, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when I post up new content. Just a heads up, I will be doing more shows as they come out. I'm thinking about doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because that drops next week. And I've been thinking about Real Housewives of New York too. They're only one episode in. I've never really watched it, but I've heard great things, so I'm considering it as well. So stay tuned, stay safe, and be blessed. See you all next time. I love y'all.